Hello everyone and welcome back to DevPortal, your go-to channel for mastering tech concept. In our continuity of our Linux tutorial series, today we are going to discuss another important concept in Linux, which is process. We are going to discuss what a process is and how we can identify how many processes are running in our server or our Linux file system, and how we can distinguish which process is consuming how much memory and CPU. We are going to discuss few commands like ps command, top command. So let's start our today's video. So first, let's discuss about what is a process. So in simple terms, a program that is currently running in the system is known as a process. Let me give an example. Suppose if you are opening a web browser, then a particular process will create it for that execution. Same way, if you are running any particular Java program in your server or Linux system, in that case as well, another process will get created for that execution. And whenever a process is getting created in Linux, we will be able to distinguish that process with a particular ID, which is known as process ID, or we simply termed as a PID. So that I'm going to show you just now. So how we can see that how many processes are currently running in our system. So for that we have a command which is ps command. With the help of ps command, it will list down all the processes which are currently running. First, let me show you the manual for that. So if I do command ps, you can see it will report the snapshot of the current processes which are running. So let me quit this and let me show you the ps command, what it will do. So you can see it here, it is showing the process ID which I was talking about, the PID. This is the process ID and currently two processes are running in the system. But one thing we need to remember with the ps command is that whenever we are executing the ps command, it will show you the process which are currently running in your current session. Let's say I have opened two sessions here. One is this terminal, another one is this terminal. If I execute the ps command here as well, it will not show the same PID for me. So if I do ps, you can see even though the VBox user is there as well in the first terminal as well, but 2968 is not present here. But here what is present? 3098. So with this, what we conclude that ps command will list down only the processes which are running in your current session, not in the entire system. Let's say if you want to see the all the processes which are running in your entire system, in that case we have one option which is -e. What does it refer as? The all the processes are you want to see which are running in your system. So we can understand in a way in the server rather than saying system. So if I do ps-e here, now you can see it will show the 3098 as well. You can see it here, 3098 is coming, which were present in the second terminal. So with the help of one option, we can see all the processes which are running in the system, and with ps we can see these processes which are currently running in your current session. So this is about -e. Now we can see that this is the data is coming, but let's say if you want to see that which user has executed the command, as if we see it here, it is showing PID, which is the process ID, then the command. CMD means the command which got executed, and for after execution one process got created. So let's say if you want this data in more detailed way, in that case we have another option which is -f. Sorry. So if I do ps-ef, now you can see the more detailed information is coming here. So if I go up, now what is coming? UID. What does it mean? That which user has executed the command so that this process got started. So this is the root user which has started this execution. If I come down, there will be some process which will be started by the VBox user as well. As you can see it here, this once I logged in, the VBox user has executed this command, or you can say by default it got executed. And if I come down below as well, some other user also, if you logged in, that particular command also it will show. Let me show you. Let's say if I switch the user here to dev portal, so it will ask me the password. So let me provide the password, and now I am the dev portal user. If I do who am I, now let's say if I execute the same ps-ef, now you can see dev portal is also coming. So this is how we can see all the processes which are running in this system with the help of ps-e and f option. With the -f option, it will provide the more detailed structure to us or more detailed information to us. So this is about ps, which will help us to see the processes which are running. Now let's say you want to see the live data, that processes are running, that is fine, but how much memory or CPU they are utilizing. So for that we have top command. First, let me show you the manual for that. So what does it will do? It will display the Linux processes and it will show the dynamic real-time view to you. As you can see it here in the description, dynamic real-time view, it will show to you. So let me quit this and let me clear the terminal first, and now let me execute the top command. So once I execute the top command, something like that, it will come to your screen as well. And this is the live data. What does it mean? That these are the live processes which are running in your system, and this much amount of CPU this process is consuming, and this much amount of memory this process is consuming. Now let's say you want to see the process which is consuming the most memory. So in that case, you can just press capital M and it will sort the data in the form of decreasing order for the memory usage. Now let's say if you want to see the process which is consuming the most CPU. So for that, you just need to press capital P. Once you press capital P, it will show you the data which is consuming the most CPU to your system, from your system. So as we can see it here, 2184 is one process which is consuming 5.3% of CPU. Now it is consuming 13.0% of CPU and 10.2% of memory. So let's say in your server, in your production server, any process is consuming how much amount of memory and CPU. With the help of top command, you can see. There is another enhanced version of top command as well. Let me talk about that as well. So what that command will do, it will show you the more enriched GUI. It will provide the more enriched GUI and easy navigation. But for because it may be possible that command is not present in your system, so you need to install. So rather than installing that particular command or packages in your production server, you can install in your personal system to see that how that command will perform. Now let me talk about few other options which will help in the top command. So let's say if you want to kill any particular process. So for that you need to mention small k, and once you press small k, it will ask which process you want to kill. So you need to provide the PID, which is this PID you want to provide. Once you provide the PID, it will ask in what way you want to kill that particular program. Let's say if you want to forcefully kill the program, in that case you need to mention 15. 15 means forcefully terminate that program or process. In then it will simply terminate that process if you have the permission. If you don't have permission, it will show you the error. So this is another option, helpful option, which you can utilize. Capital M sort the data for the memory in the decreasing order. Capital P sort the CPU in the decreasing order. With the help of K command, we can kill the particular process. And let's say if you want to quit this terminal or you quit this window, you need to press capital, not capital, small q. And now this window got quit. Now this real-time data will not come. So let me clear this. And what the other command I talk about, which is htop. If I show you htop, you can see it is not present in my system, so I need to install it. So for the installation, you need to execute this command. Once the execution got completed, once the installation got completed, you will be able to use that command as well. So that you can do in your personal system. Now let me talk about another program which will help you to search a particular process, which is pgrep. Like we are using grep command to search any particular keyword in a file. Same way we have a pgrep command which will help us to search a particular process. Let me show you. So first let me execute ps-ef. And these many processes are running in my system. Now let's say you want to search any particular process with a certain execution, or you know the command, just need to mention. So we need to mention pgrep, and after that we need to mention the keyword, which is bash. Suppose I want to search the program, or you can say the process which has this bash is written in the command. So now you can see it has given me the 3 IDs. What does it mean? There are 3 processes which are running with the bash in the command which is mentioned. So one is 2968, another one is 3098, and another one is 3285. So we can see it here as well. 3285 is one where the bash got executed. And if I go up, or rather than going up, what I can do, I can mention ps-ef, and I can use this pipe operation which I talk about in my previous tutorial, and then I will mention grep, bash, and start. So here what it has given the entire picture to me. These are 3 commands, which is 2968, 3098, and 3285, which we just saw earlier as well. And these are the commands, which is bash, and these are the user which has executed this command. 2 is vbox user, 1 is dev portal user. So this is also very helpful if you want to search any particular process for execution, so that you will be able to kill that particular process. This is very helpful. Let's suppose if you want to first search and then you want to kill that particular process. There is another command which is alternative of that, which is pidof command. Let me show you that as well. If I mention pidof, here I need to mention bash again, and if I press enter, you can see it has given me the same ID. So either with the pgrep or with the pidof, you can do the same thing. If you notice here, I have talked about pgrep, but while searching, I have mentioned grep. Why? Because when we are executing the pipe operation, we know whatever output this first command will generate, it will act as an input to the second command. So in that case, it is not necessary you use pgrep, but if you're executing pgrep alone, then it is necessary, so that that particular process it can return to you. Here what it has does, on the entire data, it has just searched the grep, not grep, the bash keyword. So if I execute the same command which I executed above with the pgrep format, now you can see it has provided me the only the processes ID, which it ideally written that these are the processes which you are looking for, which have the bash execution or bash keyword used in the command. So just now we saw that how we can know that which all particular process we can find out on the particular keyword using pgrep or pidof command. If I talk about the differences, then with the help of grep command, or we can say the pgrep, it will provide the more flexibility in the searching, because we can use the here that regex, so that is easier for us. So I prefer using pgrep in the production as well, or in my daily searching activities as well. So till now we discussed about ps command, top command, pgrep command, and pidof command. Now let's talk about real world scenarios, that how we can identify the processes, how we can kill those processes. So first let me show you which all processes are running in my system. So these many processes are running, and now let's say there is one process which you want to kill. So how we can do that? So let me go to the next terminal first, and here I'm acting as a dev portal user. So first let me exit, and now I'm acting as a vbox user. So I will write who am I to show you. So here vbox user is coming, and now what I will do, let's say I will execute one command here, and that particular process will get created after the execution, and that process I will kill in my first terminal. So let's say if I first let me do ls here, and let me do nano. What nano will do, it will help me to create the file and write the text into it. So I will write nano text.txt. This command I have executed. Now if I go to my previous terminal and if I execute, before execution let me clear this, and now if I do ps-e-f, now you can see nano text.txt is coming. This command is executed by vbox user, and the process ID is 3352, and the parent process ID is 3098. Now let's say this process you want to kill. If I show you the top command as well, so in top command also it should come 2184 is coming. Let's confirm it is same or not. Okay, this is not same. This is 3352. So 3352 is not coming, maybe because it is not consuming that much amount of memory. So if I short it by the CPU percentage, so 2184 is the highest CPU percentage it is utilizing. If I short it by memory, so 2184, now you can see it is coming, but that is not the same process. So if I pick the process, this is 3352. Now let's say this process I want to kill. For a demo purpose, I am showing this to you. In production, maybe possible you need to kill the process which is consuming more memory for CPU. So just for the process, that how we can kill a particular process, I am going to show you this demo. So 3352 is the one. So I will press K. Once I press K, it will ask me which process you want to kill. So this is 3352 is the process which I want to kill. Now it is asking which signal you want to provide, which means if I press 15 or if I mention 15, which means I want to terminate this process forcefully. So if I mention 15, you can see it now in my, if I go to the next terminal or my second terminal, you can see it here. The signal has received to kill this process has come, and now the window which was open earlier after executing the nano command, it has terminated. So this is how we can kill the processes. If I do ps, let me first quit. Let me quit this first. And if I do ps-ef, now that command is not coming, which is nano text.txt. If I do ps-ef, if I do grep here, and let me search it with nano star, we can see nothing is coming. Rather than grep, let me show you pgrep so that it will return the process ID. So you can see if nothing is coming, which means no current process is running with this nano command. Now let me give you another example. Let's say if I execute another command here, first let me clear this and let me execute sleep command. Let's say sleep 300 I have mentioned. So this is the ID which got created 3375. If I do ps-ef again, so 3375, as you can see, it is coming here. So this is another process. So how we can kill that? So another way is that either you go with the top command or you can just mention kill, and after kill you mention the process ID. So it is 3375. Once I press enter, it will kill that particular process. So now how you know that this process got killed? So you can mention sleep again, sleep 300, and this is one way it will say terminated. As you can see, it is coming. And another process, it has started with 3377. So if I do ps-ef again, now 3375 will not come, but 3377 is coming. And it may be possible if you are running microservices in your system, there will be multiple services or multiple processes are running. So let's say if I execute the same command multiple times, now it has generated multiple processes. So if I do ps-ef, and if I mention pgrep, and where I want to see the sleep command only, you can see it here. It has provided me the list which is 3377, 3379, 3381, 82 and 83. Now these many processes, if I want to kill, I can mention kill and then space separated processes ID. So this is 33771, and if I mention 338, let's say if I mention these two, so it will get killed. It will kill these two processes. If I do ps, or rather than typing, I can use the same command using arrow button. So now 3379 is coming, 81 is coming, 83 is coming, which means two processes we have already killed. So we can kill these three processes as well, which is 3379, then 3381, and then 3383. So here you can see the typo is there. So if I enter, it will say 2279 is not there as a process. If it is not present, if it is present and the access is there, then it will kill the particular process. So you can see 2279, no such process it has found. So if we search it again, the particular process which is remaining is coming, and other two processes it has killed. So if you mention the wrong process as well, that is not the problem. If it is not present in the system, then it will not kill that particular process because it does not exist. So let me kill this process as well, 3379. If I go to the previous terminal, if I do sleep 300 again, you can see these many processes got deleted, not deleted, terminated, and 3390, another process got created. So let me kill this process as well, and this time I will use my top command. With the help of top command, I know what is the process ID, which is 3390. I will mention first K. Now I need to provide the process ID, which is 3390, and then the signal, which is 15, to forcefully terminate that process. And now if I do ps-ef, and if I mention pgrep, where sleep is used, nothing is coming. So this is how we can kill a particular process in our Linux file system. With the help of ps-ef command, we can see which is the process or which is the process ID, or either you can use top command, and pgrep, I have fetched that particular process ID, and with the help of kill command or K option, I have killed those particular processes. So that's it for today's video on Dev Portal. Today we have discussed what is a process in Linux and how we can see those processes which are running in our system with the help of ps command and top command. We also saw that how we can search a particular process using pgrep command, and how we can kill those processes with the help of K option in the top command, or either using kill command with the help of process ID, we can kill those particular processes. If it is a multiple processes you want to kill, you need to provide the process ID space separated. Otherwise, single process ID also you can provide. So that's it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share these videos with your fellow developers and friends. Notes link I will give you in the description box as well as in the comment section, so you can check it out. And I will see you in my next tutorial with another Linux command.